So I've got this little stem kind of roughed out, and I sketched in where the ears are going to be. And I actually started a little bit around the nose and the mouth. And I'm starting to wonder why go through all this trouble and all this waste of doing it this way. Why not just cut this scoop out and then put a dowel in there? Should be able to drill it pretty straight. I mean, I have to carve it straight up and down and centered. I could certainly drill a hole in there and put a dowel in there. So I'm thinking on the next project that I might do that. It might actually be easier. So I've got the ears pretty well roughed out. The way I did that was I used this number 7 and just took that shape out there until I got it where I wanted it, and then you can just take a straight knife and cut off, you know, until you get where you want to be this way, right? And then the inner detail I can cut out later. But what's important is that I eyeball this across so that these two tops of the ears are pretty close. And I've made that mistake in the past where they were just way off. So more careful about getting that to be where I want it to be. Then I have to go back. I have my nose roughed out. It's still got to have a lot taken off of it, and I got my mustache, so I know where that's going to go. Still a lot to do here. I have to do, you know, the hair that comes down off this and so forth. So, but most important, I want to get those eyes back in there. So when I look at my picture now, I don't even have to use the pattern or my dividers. I can just look at these ears, and you look at the nose. So if you look at the tip of your nose and the top of your ears, those eyes are right about in the middle there. At least on this one they are. So they're going to be right about in there. Okay. I'm always struggling to make my eyes big enough because they always seem to get too small when I make them. So I want these guys, these big, nice big eyes here. So not sure which way they're going to be looking at you, but I'm going to start with a pretty big eye socket here. So you got to take some time, make sure that they're the same, otherwise you'll have some problems. So that's the next step, is to get to work on laying out the rest of this, lay out the hat, get the eyebrows back in there, and then start really trying to take this down. I got to work on the hairline. You can see here he's got quite a bit of hair coming down on both sides of his ears, so we want to have a nice amount left in there. And it's easy to get hogging off wood here and take off too much. So this part right in here, this part of the face, still needs to come back in more. This has to be taken out even more in here. So, but I want to make sure I leave the hair first. Okay, so that's the next step. Okay, to get in around here and really kind of shape this thing, I like this tool right here. It's a 1/4 inch V tool, but it's got a little bit of a rounded bottom to it, so it's not a hard V. And this is a Denny tool. It's just a perfect size, and the flat that's on here lets you do quite a bit of, you know, work. So you can just go from using it as a V and then use it flat, you know, and you don't have to pick up another chisel. So that's great. So and I purposely did not do the eyes, you know, the way they would normally be done. I'm doing them a little raised up so that the eyelids, I'm going to round them back gradually. I don't take too much off here. And I'm going to have these bulging out a little bit so their eyes are kind of puffy. They've been staying up with the other gnomes a little too late. So they're kind of a little... And try to put a little more expression into it. He's not just staring ahead. Okay. And I've separated here where the hair is going to be, so I know that that's going to be there, and I've started cutting around. That's the other thing with this V tool, is you can just turn it on its side and get it up against where you have a raised edge, like where this cap is. So it's a great tool for that. I'll probably use other tools to clean that up later, but for now, while it's being roughed out, that's the way to go.